everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be doing a liner look. I know I'm not superly skilled in this department, but I figured if I don't ever try, I'm never really gonna learn. And I thought today would be a good day to just try it with you. And I'm really excited because I really want to try kind of imitating like a candy corn since it's October and Halloween is like around the corner. And I actually really like candy corns, so I wanted to try to kind of incorporate those colors into a liner look. So before we get started, I would love if you would hit that subscribe button. It would mean so much to me, and we will get going. Okay, I already started this video with my primer on. I used the e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer because it's got a really stickiness to it that I enjoy, and with it still kind of being hot but leaning towards being a little cooler, I thought it would be a good primer to use today. But for foundation, we are going to go into one of my favorites. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte Foundation. And really, I'm trying to kind of hustle through the base makeup because I really want to spend a good time on the liner look today. And I don't know how long that's going to take me, and I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. So I just took a couple pumps of my foundation, and I am going to be using a brush to apply. Then I pick up whatever's left over on my hand on my sponge and just pat everything in. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of getting a bit lackadaisical with my skincare routine, and I was getting a lot of breakouts because of it. But I've started to get myself back into my routine and being adamant about it, and now my face is clearing up and I'm really happy about it. I'm not going to spend too much time on concealer and powdering because this is the same routine I have been doing for months now. I'm going to be using my Jouer Essential Concealer, and then I'm going to be setting it with my Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder and mixing it with the Jaclyn Cosmetics Under Eye Powder in the Brightening Lilac shade. Today I'm not feeling like using cream products, so I'm going to go in with my Kosas Cloud Set Powder. And I like to use this powder to set the rest of my face. I've learned that it's actually meant to help absorb your oils throughout the day, which I think is why I'm so in love with this powder. And then something I like to do is just with any powder, even under my eyes, I like to take my damp sponge and lightly press over everywhere. This helps pick up any powder that doesn't get used, any excess powder basically, and also helps keep a very skin-like finish so you don't look like you've got such a powdery face. For bronzer today, I'm going to go in with my Patrick Ta. This is the Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo. I'm just going to be using the powder bronzer today. So I'm going to start by warming up the cheeks. I'm going to do a little bit on the forehead, and then I like to connect it down here to my temples. I am going to do a little bit underneath my jaw and down my neck, and then just a smidge on my nose. I put some concealer on my nose to kind of hide how red my nose is, so I just want to bring a little bit of warmth back to it. For blush, I'm going to try to keep it pretty light. This is the Cosmetics Heaven's Glow blush. This is in the shade Magic Hour. This is a pretty glowy blush, but I think it's really pretty. It's the first shade of the Heaven's Glow formula that Cosmetics came out with. You know what I should have done is picked the Faded Clementine bronzer or blush in this formula because it's a lot more orange. I think it would have gone really well with the candy corn idea now that I think about it. It's a lot more orange. In fact, I'm just gonna mix them because I want some of the orange for that candy corn look. I don't know if you can tell that it brought some orange into the blush. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose, and I'm gonna mix the blushes everywhere because I feel like it would be weird that I just mixed them on my cheek but not anywhere else. And then since they're powders, I'm gonna use my sponge and we're just gonna kind of clean up the edges. Make sure everything's really nicely blended. And then for highlight, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go in with my Nabla Skin Glazing. This is in the shade Ozone. It's a very ivory color, which is my favorite for highlights. And I think with how orangey rosy the cheeks got, I think a real ivory color will be nice for the candy corn. And then I like to go over my highlight with my sponge as well. This to me helps it not stand off of your face. I am going to do a little bit of setting spray. This is my Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist. And then I like to let that dry for a second and then go in with my sponge and just press it in everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the eyes. I am going to get my eyebrows done real fast. I'm just going to be using my Kosas Air Brow gel. And then I also picked up the new Milk Hydrogrip eye primer. I'm actually really excited to try this. So it's an eye primer, but you can also use it under your concealer to help with that. I didn't try it that way mostly because I forgot, but I do want to try it for the eyes because I have very hooded eyes and my eyes crease very easily. So it takes a really good eye primer to actually make it so my eyes don't crease throughout the day. So I'm going to apply this, apply my brows, open up my new eyeliner set of brushes, and we will come back. Alright, so I did Google the candy corn just to make sure that I had the colors right. What I figured out though is that candy corns are really bright yellow, bright orange, and that's not exactly what I want. So I kind of muted the colors. So I picked out my Melt Cosmetics Rust palette. So we could use kind of this darker yellow. I pulled out my Tati Beauty palette so we could use the darker orange shade. This one here. And then I realized I don't have like an actual white color like in any of my collection. I guess it never really occurred to me. But the lightest color I have is this one from the Urban Decay Wild West palette. So those are the three colors that we're going to use. And then I'm going to be using my Juvia's Place iPrep iPrime eye primer to kind of lay a base down to get these colors to pop a bit more. And then I picked out this eyeliner set off Amazon. I think it was like $5, but it's got really small brushes and then like a larger angled one. But this one's actually got like a curve to it, which I have seen on other beauty channels, but the brush is absolutely tiny, so I think it will help me with my hooded eyes to keep that line really, really small and close to the lash line. And what I found out about that primer, the Melt one, is that it is quite tacky. So tacky that if you, like I've got concealer and some foundation on my eyelids earlier, it picked it up. So I would recommend using that eye primer before anything else, if that's the one you're going to use. I also think I used a little bit too much because my eyelids are already creasing with that primer. I'm going to try to do the eyeliner part first, and then I do want to add a little color into the crease so it doesn't look so bland up there. But I'm just going to take a little bit of the Juvia's Place eye primer on the back of my hand. And then I'm going to take the angled brush that came in my set, and I'm going to start by trying to create that eyeliner look. I'm not a pro at eyeliner, so if you see something I'm not supposed to be doing, just leave me a comment and I will try not to do it next time. But for now, I am going to like pull my lid. Okay, it's not the crispest line and it's still pretty thick. So when my eyes are open like this, all you're gonna see is the candy corn, which is fine. But I do want to try to like wing it. So I am gonna take one of the smaller brushes. Something like that. Now remember, I try to keep mine below the crease in my eye, that way it doesn't like swoop. I just kind of wiped that off on a towel that I have next to me. So now I'm going to go into my Tati palette, and again we're going to go into the matte orange shade, which is called Story. And then I'm going to fill the outer third with this color and also the wing. The good news is that this brush is awesome. Now we're gonna go into the Rust palette, and again we're gonna go into this yellow shade. It's called Erode. And again, I just wiped that same brush off on a towel that I've got next to me. And now we're gonna go into the yellow shade. And that is gonna go into the center. I know I used the same brush, so the yellow has still some of the orange in it. I'm okay with that. I only have one of these brushes, so I have to be okay with that. Otherwise, I'd have to go wash it, and I don't really want to do that. I am diving a little bit back into the Story color from Tati Beauty just to blend the yellow and orange a tad better. Now I'm going to grab this tiny, tiny brush with the curve in it, and we're going to go into the Wild West palette. And this is the shade called Standoff. This brush is a bit too small. It's not going to pack on. I do have this small, like, angled brush. The other one it's like one hair width, and it's not going to do the job right now. So we're going to try this one. Yeah, I think that worked out really nicely. I mean, the primer that I used is lighter than the Standoff shade, but I like how it melded with the yellow and the orange because it's not such a bright white, and the orange and the yellow aren't super bright either. Going back into the Rust palette, we're going to blend the white and the yellow a little bit more. And then I think for the crease, we're going to go into this shade. It's called Nudie from the Wild West palette. I'm just taking a pretty large fluffy brush, and this is a pretty light brown. So I'm just going to put that into the crease. That way there's a little bit of definition in there, but I'm not going to bring it down to the eyeliner. But this way there's an actual point for me applying the Milk eye primer and also getting a little bit of definition into my real crease and a little bit of a transition, but it's not like an intense color. And then I'm going to take that same color Nudie on a smaller brush and put that in the lower lash line. I will connect it to the orange eyeliner, but that way there's a little definition on the lower lash line too. And then I just wiped that brush off. I'm going to go into Standoff, which is the white shade that we used, and just place that a little bit on the inner corner. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my Nabla Skin Glazing and just pop that on the inner corner as well. And there you have it. This is my candy corn eyeliner look. So I'm going to pop on some mascara and then we'll finish up with the lips. Alright, I just used my Maybelline Sky High mascara. Nothing too special there. But for lips, I pulled out a special one. This is a Maybelline lipstick. It's called Spice For Me. It's kind of a deeper orangey color, and I thought it would match the orange in our candy corn pretty well. So we're going to try it. I don't have a real orangey lip liner to go with it, so I'm just going to be using one of my Nabla Close-Up Lip Shapers, and this is in the shade Nude Number 3. It's got a very brown undertone, so I think it'll be okay with kind of the orangey lipstick. Now for the lipstick. Alright, here is our finished look. Be honest, what do you think? I'm really happy with it. I really like it. I think with my eyes, especially because of how hooded they are, I think I did the eyeliner a good thickness, which is basically the whole lid of what you would see on me. But I think that was good. That way you can actually still see the color. I think if I tried to do it any thinner, you wouldn't see the color very well. I did add the wings like I told you, and I'm happy with them. They're not exactly even. This eye is a lot more hooded than this eye, so this eye can kind of go up a little bit where this one really has to come straight out. So they're not really even, but for me, I'm happy with it. I think I did pretty good. I really like that I muted the colors. I think if they were as bright as that candy corn actually is, it'd be a little bit too much. But for this, I'm very happy with my fall look. I love how the lipstick turned out with it, and I really enjoyed my time. This was a lot of fun for me, and I have been lacking in the fun department lately, so this was good for me. Again, I would love to know your opinion about it. What would you do for a candy corn look, and how would you change it from what I did? Other than that though, this is all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It just helps me out a bit. I'm here on Tuesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.